Gaur Premanande, Gaur Premanande, Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada, Jai Gurudev, Ananda Prabhu. So it is my very good fortune that I am present here in at your KR Puram Center in Bangalore. Our Srila Prabhupada made such a home known as the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, where everybody can live, no matter where we are, what background we are from, all over the world. His Divine Krishna Prabhupada has made a home for all of us. So I feel that I am at home, even though yes, we want to see.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So we are all very, very fortunate to have association of His Grace Satchitananda Prabhu and Mrs. Anjali Mataji are here. So Satchitananda Prabhu is a disciple of His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj. He was associated with and served Iskcon for over 35 years. His forte is kirtan, bhajan, lectures, and seminars on Bhagavad Gita, Vaishnava Bhajan, Srimad Bhagavatam, and Gaudiya Vaishnava teachings. And Prabhu has been invited to speak on spiritual subject matters and conducting many preaching tours, delivering various seminars and lectures at various Iskcon centers globally. To name a few are India, Canada, USA, Russia, Sweden, Belgium, France, Netherlands, Germany, Switzerland, Thailand, and Mexico. He is personally serving the Bhakti Vedanta Bhagavata group, Bhagavata Vani, and Iskcon. He is dedicated to the service of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, sharing Srila Prabhupada's teachings and glories. Prabhupada ki. And this is a description, but yesterday while traveling with Prabhu from airport to Bangalore, so we were discussing. So from Mumbai to Bangalore is not all the way Prabhu travel. He touched all the places. He touched all the places from the Mumbai to Bangalore, and we give an association. Iskcon Kalka, Meera Road, Surat, Thane, Iskcon Thane, and many places. And some places I am hearing for the first time in India. So, like Prabhuji and Mataji, full time serving Iskcon and giving association to all like this is really very great service. So let us all chant one time Hare Krishna Mahamantra and welcoming them and for all their preaching words should become true. So let us all chant one time Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Let us chant one time Hare Krishna Mahamantra for all the assembled Vaishnavas.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you so much for giving your
Thank
time.
you for inviting me. My special thanks to His Grace Raseshwar Prabhu and the one who organized my Bangalore Yatra is Sham Hari Prabhu, Sam Hari Sudarshan Prabhu. Right. So this is my first time. Actually, practically speaking, first time when I after joining Iskcon. But prior to that, when in my very young days, when was just fresh in college, I had come once to Bangalore. That is about 40 some years ago.
Oh my God.
So this is amazing that. But the good thing is that at that time I came for my sense gratification, wanted to explore and travel around. But now it is mainly for the service of His Divine Grace and His sincere followers.
Oh.
So, very, thank you so much. I mean, of course, I cannot recognize, I've not even been to that part, but that's okay. Main thing is I recognize this place, which is Iskcon.
God.
Uh, that is the main thing. We are all one family. Sometimes even our so-called blood family members are not really our family members. If you really see that, it's only the real satsang. What does satsang mean? I'm going to make it a little interactive session, and reason is not just to test anybody. Please, that's not my intention. Just whatever we have learned over the years, just kind of hearing it from the different Vaishnavas, their realizations or their answers. They're all good answers. Nothing can be wrong as long as it has been genuinely uh, from the heart. uh, that is what Krishna is always looking for, the genuine attempt. So, uh, what does satsang mean? Please raise your hand. There's not many people speaking at the same time. Everybody will get the chance, most probably. We'll try to. Yes, Prabhuji.
Associating with devotees
Associating with devotees
and hearing Krishna.
and hearing Krishna Katha. Yes. Anybody else? Satsang? We use this word very often, right? Satsang. Yes, Prabhu?
Exploring the truth.
Exploring the truth. Satsang. Okay, nice. Anybody from Mataji's side? Do not hesitate. Don't feel that you are going to be, the spotlight is on you. uh, and if the answer is not so good or bad, don't think about it. What are we? What is the most important principle in bhakti? Meaning, sorry, in Bhagavad Gita, in Karma Yoga. Anybody can think of one very important principle in Karma Yoga? Yes? Very nice. So, you just answer according to your capability. Do not be attached to the results, whether it is right or wrong. Very good. Yes, somebody had raised their hand here. Association with the same mindset people. I like this answer amongst the other answers much better. But in actuality, is there somebody else who would like to? First thing, first rule in satsang is make sure your phone is not crying. Put it on silent. Why? Because Hari Naam, Hari Kirtan, Hari Katha, uh, the deities, the Dham is not different from Hari. We have to respect that. So, of course, if there is an emergency, you want to talk, take it outside so that we don't get, distracted. Okay? So, make sure it's on silent or vibrate mode. Thank you so much. Let's give about 20 seconds so everybody can check their mobile phones. Hare Krishna. Yes, no, not to be attached, right? So, anybody else would like to define satsang? What is our understanding? Yes, Prabhuji? That is a very nicer than yours. so, anyways, it is not a competition, but it is getting closer to the answer that I have understood and that I want to share. Sat means in Sanskrit means eternal, and Sangha, that Sangha or association that takes us to the eternal Dham, the eternal Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is satsang, right? That is the primary meaning. Now, a lot of people say that, like somebody said, Sat means truth. It is true, but anything that is not eternal cannot be the truth. If there is a truth that is, let's say, 20 years ago it was truth, but now it is not. or 10 years later it will not be true, then that is not Satyam Param Dhimai. Satyam Param means that it is always, since time immemorial, not even putting a number. Like, we like to put numbers like, 10 years, 10 lakh years, 10 crore years, 10 kharab years, millions and billions and trillions of years. No. Our Shastra defines that anadikal, means you cannot even count. So since time immemorial, hmm, that truth that exists then, that truth that exists now, and it will continue to exist eternally, that is Sat. And that is the real truth. And who is that truth? Vyasdev says in the very first verse in the Mangalacharan of Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, first verse, Satyam Param Dhimai. So I offer my obeisances to that Satyam. We just announced, but somebody's phone is crying. Please, I really appreciate if it can be put on silent. Thank you. So, that is satsang. Everything else outside of satsang is kusa. So, whether it is our own blood family members or anything, friends, so called friends from school, college, or the friends at work, uh, they cannot really help us. The Bhagavatam says they are asat sena. What do they say? What does a sena mean? What is the objective of a sena or an army? Is to protect. And if they have to fight, they fight, obviously. Protection. So, if somebody is dying and they are on the bed and the entire family, friends, everybody is present. But Shastra says, and that man is thinking somebody will save me from death. Nobody can save. Nobody can protect. None of them can. So therefore they are known as Asat Sena. Not real army. But who is the real army? Satsang. When we leave our bodies, we are fortunate. We have been associating with so many devotees. They will come and rescue us. Sometimes we find that we are not able to, maybe somebody is very sick. They may not be able to think that deeply at that time or chant the holy names. But other Vaishnavas will chant for us. And then we leave our bodies with that consciousness of Krishna in our hearts, then we will never come back again. Tattva punarjanmaneti mameti so Arjuna. Mano yam yam vapi smaranam bhavam tajeti ante kadar. Whatever your consciousness is at the time of death, that body you will obtain. So we are so fortunate that we have the association of so many Vaishnavas. And Prabhuji mentioned a few countries. So I'm so fortunate, personally I can say, that I have the association of so many Vaishnavas. It is my good fortune that I'm here in the KR Puram Center. And I'm trying to serve. And in the process, it is my purification, along with whatever you all can get through this series of katha that will be starting from this morning, then today evening, then tomorrow morning, then tomorrow evening, like that, and then Sunday morning. So I'm very happy to be here. My wife and I, we are very grateful. Hare Krishna. So the today's topic that Prabhuji has requested is that, in Krishna consciousness, we have what we call, while being in Krishna conscious, we have many challenges. Despite of challenges, how to stay in Krishna consciousness. So I would like to open up this session by what are the challenges, honestly, some of us are facing. If one by one, you all can, or maybe we can take one challenge at a time that we are facing and we can try and address them. So anybody, what are the challenges that we are facing in Krishna consciousness? Because there is no such thing as a smooth road. Not possible. even in Krishna consciousness. In fact, the challenges grow. They are more harder than the outside world, much more complicated, much more. Uh, so let's start this session by maybe we'll open it up with the Matajis. Any Mataji would like to say what is the challenge that either they are facing or someone they know? I would prefer that whatever we are, we can be honest to each other. That's the first thing that we have to. Sometimes we think that we have all become devotees. Huh? And uh, so when we think like that, it is a very dangerous mentality. Never. Sometimes from the vocabulary, when I hear uh, some person say that I am a devotee for the last 20 years, I said, wow, in my mind, this is amazing. 20 years. Or somebody says, I have been a devotee for 2 years. Uh, that is not what our Gaudiya Acharyas would recommend. I'm trying to be a devotee. Even though we may be in the movement for 50 years, 60 years, 70 years, some of us who are Prabhupada, some of Prabhupada disciples have been there for many, many years, 50 years, at least 60 years. So never ever. We have to be extremely humble, even when we are choosing our vocabulary. Because the more humble we are while choosing our vocabulary, even though we may not be internally so pure, but slowly and surely we will attain that stage really. Just as an example, Srila Prabhupada and our acharyas have recommended that we consider everyone else as our masters and we are servants, das, right? But when we practice that by saying Prabhuji or Mataji, we say that someday we will have that pure realization that I am really dasa. Right now, we may have some understanding, some knowledge, but full realization is very rare. We may say Prabhu, but sometimes when we are upset, oh, that Prabhu is nonsense. then, so, just to give an example, so we find that in our language, but still, if we continue saying that, one day we will really feel dasanas. So, similarly, uh, we should never introduce ourselves as devotees. Let others say it. It is their right. But for us, we are trying to become devotees. Just think about it. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Narottam Das Thakur as examples. How, even Srila Prabhupada, how many of you had read the poem that Srila Prabhupada wrote on the Jaldut while he was traveling to the US? What does he say? And almost to the end, that they have given me the name Bhakti Vedanta, but I have no knowledge, I have no devotion. And then he later on he signs, most insignificant beggar, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami. So such great acharyas, if they take this humble position, we have to learn something from them. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he says in one of his bhajans in Sharanagati, in the humility section, he says, Amar jivana sada papirata, naika punyara lesha, parera udvega diyachi je koto, diyachi jivara klesha. And like that he goes on, he says, Amar jivana sada papirata, the most exalted personality. These personalities, our acharyas in the Gaudiya line, does anybody know what their eternal position is in Radha Krishna's Nitya Leela in Vrindavan? Please raise your hands. See, it's so important, at least to have that information. And I always say this in my katha. Well, supposing if you are standing outside a college and at random you catch one student and you say, my dear boy or my dear girl, can you tell me what you are studying? Immediately you say, I'm studying chemical engineering. Other student will say, I'm studying to become a medical doctor without hesitation because that is what they are studying. So similarly, we as followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, followers of Rupa Goswami, followers of our acharyas in the Gaudiya line, uh, then we must know we are students of what. If somebody, because in India especially, there are so many different paths or dharmas, different faiths, right? And somebody will ask, what is the ultimate goal of Iskcon? You are going to Iskcon. Can you please tell us? And it might be a genuine inquiry, not criticism. Some people, I asked that. I used to go when I was in Chicago. Chicago is the place where the headquarters of the Parliament of World Religions is located. When Swami Vivekananda came in 1899, he first came to Chicago and it was organized the first speech and the first meeting. And later on, for 100 years it did not happen. In 1999, the second Parliament of World Religions happened. It was organized in Cape Town, South Africa. So we were fortunate to be in the second one in Cape Town, South Africa. And we met so many different uh, personalities who are from representing their own faiths. And also while in Chicago, we used to attend once in a month representing Iskcon, the interfaith meetings where we had different, somebody representing Islam, somebody representing Christianity. Even within Christianity, somebody was representing Catholicism, Protestant, some were the, what do you call, there are two types of Christians. Uh, the So like that, some was from the Baha'i faith, somebody was from Jewish faith, and we all sat at a round table and we were discussing with each other what our respective dharmas or faiths offer. So uh, I got to learn many things from other faiths, and I was always inquisitive. Please tell me, what does your faith, what is the ultimate goal of your dharma that you are following? I always used to ask that question to somebody who I met of that particular faith or dharma. So similarly, somebody can ask us that. And if we are not, so I'm asking this question again, it's an interactive session. Please raise your hands one at a time. Mataji's first again. What is, somebody will ask us who has no idea about Krishna consciousness or Iskcon, they will ask you, what is the ultimate goal of Iskcon? To be happy. So that is a very general answer. It's a good answer. But uh, are we saying that other faiths are not happy in what they are doing? They have some level of surrender to their Ishtadevas, whoever they are worshipping. So it's a general answer. But I'm looking for a little bit more specific. Anybody else? Yes, Mataji?
To understand about ourselves, God, and our relationship with the God.
Okay. So that is also a good answer. But even within Sanatana Dharma, we have the Sampradaya, Sri Sampradaya Ramanujacharya. So even they have the same philosophy. That's the general philosophy. I'm talking for more specific. And I will give an example to make it a little more easier. So let's say somebody is a student studying in medical college. Okay, finished his MBBS or her MBBS. After that, what do they do? Some of them, they are happy with their MBBS and then they go and practice. Either join some hospital or they open their own clinic. But there are some medical doctors who are already qualified MBBS, they further go into specialization, right? Somebody wants to become a cardiologist, somebody is becoming a pulmonologist, somebody wants to become an orthopedic, somebody wants to become different specialists that are there: ENT, ear, nose, throat doctor, surgeon, ophthalmologist for eyes, etc. So that is specialty. So what you are discussing, what you are, your answers are correct, but that is a general answer that is for all sampradayas within Sanatana Dharma, and it can even extend beyond Sanatana Dharma to other faiths. Okay. So what is the specifics? Just like the student who has finished his MBBS will say, I am becoming a cardiologist, I'm studying that. So, what is our specialty as Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradayas? That is my question. No, 1 second, one at a time. That's one thing that I really would appreciate is yes, we will give the time, raise your hand. Because then I cannot hear when 15 people are talking together and they have sometimes 15 different answers and it will not register in my head. So I request, please raise your hand. Yes. Yes, Mataji in the red sari. To serve Krishna, very nice. But are we saying that these three sampradayas are not serving Krishna? Eh? Well, are we saying that the three sampradayas do not have prem for Lord Ramachandra? That prem factor is there. But yes, you are right, Krishna specifically. That's much closer. Yes, Mataji, in the pink sweater. Taking us back to our Father. It is there in all sampradayas. Even the Christian says, when they are praying and sitting at the table, oh God, our dear Father, blessed be thy name. Please give us our daily bread and bread. So they also recognize Father in heaven. And their goal is also to reach their Father. So it is a generalized answer. I'm looking for more specifics. Again, the example thing that we are standing outside of medical college and we are asking a student, or now we are asking all those who have already become MBBS. Then we are asking, what are you further studying? What is your specialty? So think on those terms, keeping that example in mind, we should be able to kind of pinpoint an answer. Yes, Prabhu.
To love Krishna and share Krishna.
Love Krishna and share Krishna. Very nice. Much closer. Thank you. You, Prabhuji?
To be the eternal servant.
Again, it's a general answer. Are we saying that the followers of Jesus Christ don't feel like that? Or the Sri Sampradaya devotees or Nimbar Sampradaya devotees don't feel like that? If they have the same consciousness. So it's a generalized answer. I'm looking for more. Like that student who said, I'm studying cardiology. In the back, yes, Prabhuji. Very nice. That is the most closest answer that I was looking at. Yes.
Follow the instruction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the practice of bhakti to get the love of Krishna.
Very nice. That's also very close. Almost same. And because you added the Mahaprabhu component, I will give you a little bit more weightage on your answer. Yes, Prabhuji. Huh? That is the highest weightage right now. Gopi Bhartu Padakamalayo, Das Anudas, Anudas, Anudas. So being the servant of the servant of the servant, following in the footsteps and of the gopis, Aradhya Bhagavan Vrajesh Tanes, Tadam Vrindavanam, Ramya Kachit Upasana, Rajavadi Vargena Taya Kalpida, Srimad Bhagavad Purana Malam Prema Pumartu Maha, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Mataido, Nayatra Prabhu. Answer is given in this verse that Srila Prabhupada used to recite quite often. This verse is from a shastra known as Chaitanya Manjusha. And in that it is the Manglacharan. Just like Manglacharan is always there in everything that we do. Even before the lecture, actually, in the introduction, I forgot to say, Om Jnana Divinandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guru. That is Manglacharan. Manglacharan of Srimad Bhagavatam is Om Janmadiyasya Tuvanvaya Itaratascha Deshva Vigyasvara Tene Brahma Hridayadi Kave Nuyanti Yatsuraya Dhamna Svena Sada Nirastakokam Satyam Param Dhimahi. That is Manglacharan, the first verse. In our Chaitanya Bhagavad, Ajanu Lambido Bhujo Kanakaya Udhato Sankirtanai Pitaro Kamalaya Tatsu Vishwambaro Dijavaro Yugadharva Palo Vande Jagata Priyakaro Karunavataro. So like this, auspiciousness. When we beg for their mercy before we start something auspicious. So what was my question was that in this answer is given Aradhya Bhagavan Vrajeshtanayas. So this is all these questions and the answers that I got. That is a crisis when we don't know the real answer. That is a problem. The topic is, what is our topic today? No, what is our topic? One person. Challenges. So one of the challenges is we don't know what kind of students we are. Sorry to say that, this has happened many times in most of the Iskcon centers that I go. So Aradhya Bhagavan Vrajeshtanayas. The challenge is to know and to get interested only in who? Which Krishna? Vrajeshtanayas. Vrajesh means Vraja Esh Iti Vrajesh. King of Vraj. Who is King of Vraj?
Krishna.
No! And that is again another challenge. Nanda Maharaj, very nice. Who said Nanda Maharaj? Thank you.
I only said Krishna, I only said.
Okay. Okay, so you got that multiple choice. So the first answer was wrong, so then you said, okay, I will choose number B. Nice. Okay, very good. If you are in that, what do you call, in America, we have Jeopardy. No, what is that? The Price is Right. Something like that. There's a program that many years ago we used to watch. So you have to guess the right price. And if it is not right, then you're out. Or like in India, they have this Kaun Badega Crorepati. So I should have asked you, love kar diya jaye. Answer A, Krishna. Then all your money would have gone. Anyways, sometimes we have to make it a little humorous. Because if you make it too serious, then some folks in the back will fall asleep. Hare Krishna. So, yes, Nanda Maharaj is Vrajesh. And Tanaya means son. So who is the son of Nanda Maharaj? Krishna is a very common answer. That again is a big challenge. Krishna means all attractive. Now let me share something else. What is the, because this part I'm discussing the challenge. The biggest challenge in Iskcon is, along with philosophy and all these things that we are studying, but we miss the focus. And that is what, I want to kind of pinpoint that what is that challenge. So, as I was saying, Prabhupada, about 30 years ago, I had heard Prabhupada sing Bhajamure Mana. Everybody knows that song, right? So, what is the first line? First line, yes. That is, no, but that's it. First line. Shravanam, hear carefully, please. See, we don't have to become parents. When we become parents, we still get benefit. Because even a parent hearing and speaking about Krishna will get benefit. But we want to understand the meanings behind our kirtans, behind our verses, behind so many subject matters in Krishna consciousness. Then we can really get the real rasa. Things will open up within our hearts. So, in that purport, Prabhupada, I heard a tape. Prabhupada says that Govindas is trying to convince his mind. Bhajahu re mono. Oh, my dear mind. I still remember Prabhupada's purport on that. At least the first part. My dear mind, worship the son of Nanda Maharaj. Bhajahu re mono Sri Nanda Nandana. So then Prabhupada immediately stops and says, there are many types of Krishna. But we are only concerned with the son of Nanda Maharaj. Don't get distracted. Let that Prabhu do his seva. One person stands up, 40 heads go there. That is not something that we should try to do, not to do that. That person is doing his seva, let him do it. Why should we get distracted? Right? That is the thing. That is also a challenge, distraction. Talking about challenges. I've said that. Sometimes we find that somebody gets up or does something while the lecture is on. All the heads will go towards there. Why not focus our heads and mind on the Katha of Krishna? Another challenge question. It's coming more and more. Not prepared, but it is spontaneously coming in my mind or in my heart. How do we take the darshan of their lordships or Krishna? How do we take darshan? Very good. You know Kunti Stava. Very nice. But I didn't ask that. I did not ask that. Again. A little bit. See, that's why. That's another challenge. We don't hear the questions properly. Another challenge that we have in Krishna consciousness in Bhagavatam class, challenge also for the person speaking. A lot of time I found that there's a particular verse that needs to be discussed, but they don't even touch on it sometimes. And they will speak the whole hour on something else, which is Krishna conscious subject matter. But why do we have this Srimad Bhagavatam in chronological order? They don't say that you simply come. I'm talking about the regular program. It's a different story when a guest comes. Guest speaker comes, then sometimes they give the liberty you choose whatever you want. But otherwise, whoever is speaking Bhagavatam, they're not told that you speak whatever you want. No. Specific verse. So that is a challenge even for the speakers. And for the listeners, the challenge is that they do not ask questions that are related to the subject matter. Most of the time we find they're asking these questions out of purview. And sometimes we find, I'm saying this from my own experience. I used to do that and I recognize my mistake. I wanted to show that I know Shastra. So I would like to pinpoint some verse that was not related to the topic. So that everybody will think, oh, wow, he knows this, he knows that. So that attitude we must lock up and throw in the sea. Even though we know so much, we don't know nothing. Right? That is our, and especially, so Shravanam is the first process amongst the Nauda Bhakti. The challenge is we don't do Shravanam properly. Because if we do Shravanam properly, then we can do Kirtana. Kirtana means chanting and also glorifying. The word Kirtanam comes from the word Kirti. Kirti means to glorify. So one can only glorify properly either the Vaishnava Acharyas or the servants of the Supreme Personality of Godhead or the Supreme Lord or the wonderful pastimes of Lord one who has heard from. Shravana. Then Kirtanam. And one who has done Shravana and Kirtanam properly can do Smaranam properly. So many people talking about challenges ask, it's a great challenge to chant our rounds properly. What did Srila Prabhupada said? How many minimum rounds we should chant?
15.
How many rounds?
15.
Incorrect. Who said good rounds? Very nice. Rashi Subramanian. So, minimum 16 good rounds. So that's the challenge. We are not able to do that. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Prabhu, मैं अभी आ रहा हूँ. I'm coming. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, 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 Ram. Can you check if the flight is on time? Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare. So Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, it's okay to do the bonus rounds. Please don't misunderstand me. Because Mahaprabhu has said, Nam Nam Akari Bahuda Nijasarvasak Tatra Arpita Niyameta Smarnina. There's no hard and fast rules as the time when you can chant what. But if we want to advance very nicely, we have to sit in one place and chant the minimum 16 GOOD, good rounds. That's the biggest challenge. Talking about challenges. And then how we can, now the next challenge or question arises before somebody asks me. This question has been asked maximum number of times amongst all questions wherever I go. Prabhu, mind gets distracted. How we can challenge, the challenge is how we can nicely chant our rounds. Is that true? How many all feel like that? Please honestly raise your hands. Oh, the rest of you who are not raised their hands, my obeisances to you. You are chanting perfectly. That means you are in Shuddhana. So, because we do not have, we have not done proper Shravanam, we have not done proper Kirtanam as a result of Shravanam. And because of Shravanam and Kirtanam, that challenge that we face, we cannot do Smaranam. I would request all of you to try it, even if it is for 1 round, 2 rounds, 4 rounds, depending on your time, because I understand a lot of you all have to go to work. A lot of have challenges. There is a challenge, again talking about challenges. We are grihasthas, we have children, we have to take care of them, we have to cook, we have to feed them. These different challenges are there. But if we practice even 1 round, 2 rounds, 4 rounds, consciously sitting in one place, closing our eyes and chanting audibly, not that we disturb the whole neighborhood and then they will say there is a fanatic staying in my flat underneath. No, we know some people who do that as well. One devotee's wife was complaining, my husband, how ridiculous he is. He will wake up at 4:30 in the morning and he will chant so loudly, he will not only wake me up, he will also wake up the neighbors. So we are not fanatics. Yes, we are on the level of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, we do that because our his consciousness is purely calling out loudly out of pure, like Prabhupada said, 2 reasons. Calling out loudly, please engage me in your service. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is already engaged in the service. But his calling out loudly is for the benefit of the jivas. Uh, for the benefit of the jivas. Little ants, insects, even the trees, etc., they will definitely get a human form of life when they are. We do that, a lot of them, just to show that I am a good chanter. That the big challenge is we are a lot of show model business. I am your servant, I am your servant, I am your servant. But internally, we don't feel that. These are challenges. I am being very honest. I'm sitting on this Vyasasana. My job is to discuss. I have a little allergies for agarbatti. Okay, it's taken out because I still feel lingering. Very bad allergies. Me and my wife. Sorry about that. So we are talking about challenges. So good chanting is a big challenge. 16 minimum good rounds is a major challenge. But at least let's try. We sit in one place, close our eyes, and audibly, at least we should be able to hear our own chanting. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. That's one component of good chanting. But then when we do that, our minds go distract here and there. Today, what I will cook. Matajis are thinking like that. Right? Today, what project I have to finish in the office. Immediately that comes. What is the traffic going to be like? What street I will take to my work? These things are crossing. How many times we get distracted? Please raise your hands while chanting. Hare Krishna. Now, thank you for being honest. I'm also included in your club. but also I have experienced, honestly speaking, when I get the proper, dedicate it to chanting solely, that the holy names reciprocate. The Shastra says, everybody please repeat this verse after me. Nama Chintamani Sri Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shuddha Nitya Mukta Avinatvam Nananamino. Nama Chintamani, the holy name is Chintamani. Chintamani means touchstone. Also, Chintamani means whatever chinta, whatever you think, it will deliver, just like a kalpavriksha. Nama Chintamani, Sri Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. What does that mean? What does Sri Chaitanya mean here? Loudly. No. The primary meaning means, yes, Prabhu, Rasisha Prabhu. Well, you can say so, but Chaitanya means living. Just like this chair or this Vyasasana or this table is not living, animate. And Chaitanya means living. This is non. This is this is non-animate, and animate means Chaitanya. There is living. So when we chant, when we sit just 5 seconds before we start chanting, we should think that this is not just words. This is not just some ordinary sound vibration. This is living. The holy names is is living. Just like you and I, we are living. The moment the soul leaves, what happens? This is dead. Right? Body is pronounced dead. As long as soul is there, it is alive. So that's the first principle we have to remember when we chant the holy names. It is living. And what is it living? Hara and Krishna. Which in the last line, Abhinnatvam Namna Namino. The name of Krishna and Krishna are identical. One time, Srila Prabhupada, I think it was Kumbh Mela, and he had gone there, and some of his disciples had gone book distribution and catching so many people, because in Kumbh Mela there are so much opportunity. Millions of people come, right? So, one devotee, his Prabhupada's disciple, was standing right underneath his window outside, and Prabhupada was seated inside. Window was open, and he was speaking to somebody, preaching about the holy name, that Krishna is in his name. So Prabhupada asked another devotee, please come, please tell him to come here. So he was called. And when he was called, Prabhupada said, I heard you said that Krishna is in his name. Where in his name is he present? Is he between the K and the R, or the R and the I, or between the I and the S, etc.? So he was lost. So Prabhupada said, no, Krishna is his name. So first principle is, when we with that consciousness chant the holy name, that this is the real person that I'm associating, persons, transcendental personalities of Godhead that I am associating with, that is Chaitanya. Just like you are living, you are a devotee. You are living, you are also a devotee. You have different qualities, different job, different family, right? But you are a living person. But similarly, the holy names are living personalities in Vraj for us. There's so many things I can share that can help us overcome these challenges. And let me know, Prabhuji and Assistant Prabhu, when I want to stop 10 minutes before, just show me your hand like that, and then I will stop. That way, Huh? Oh, very good. I'm very happy to hear that. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So, we were talking about a lot of subject matters. Sometimes, I go from one branch, it kind of, like a river, it bifurcates, and then again it further bifurcates. But then we have to come back to the main river. Okay? So I will need your help, one of you. How attentive Shravanam you are doing, then I will ask one of you, where was I originally? So when we say originally, means you have to give some main rivers where we started from. So, anyways, so here we are about the challenge of the holy names. Chanting properly, it's not happening. Because, first of all, we don't consider it as a living person, number one. And this living person is who? Radha Krishna and their associates. Just like there are so many devotees sitting in this hall, I'm associating with all of you. You are associating with one. But I am associating with all of you. You understand this example? So the holy names means we are, first of all, it is living, real persons with an S, plural. And they are the name and them, they are not different. Not in the name, but they are not different. It's a big challenge to come to that realization. It's a big challenge to even get that information. In life, we find that first comes information. One material example, practical example I will give, that there are many people, especially this is IT hub, Bangalore. Sorry, I'm still not used to Bangalore. I'm still not used to, even though I was born and raised, my wife and I, now they call it Mumbai, but we just cannot, you know, it, our hands go back only to the word Bombay. Chennai is also hard for us to say, we say Madras. So please forgive me if I don't say Bangalore. Then I have to take some access my hard drive more deeper. You know, sometimes that time circle goes when you're searching something, and then because it has to search in a particular sector of the hard drive to find that particular data. So then I have to do that, and that will waste time. Hare Krishna. So, what was I saying before this Bangalore and Bangalore? What was I saying, Prabhuji? Two important things that I already mentioned: living personalities, persons, and they are actually that. Okay? Completely non-different, as the Shastra says. And what are the results when we chant the holy names? Purna Shuddha, we are completely purified. Cheto Darpana Arjana. Okay, completely purified. And Nitya Mukta, eternally we will be liberated. Now, question to the audience, a challenge. What is our understanding of Mukti? Nitya Mukta, eternal liberation. What does Mukti mean? Anybody, please? Matajis, I'll come to you. What is our understanding of Mukti? See, these are very important questions that I'm asking, not a test, but this challenge is that most devotees across the globe, every day we speak these words, we talk about it, we chant them, but we don't even have the information. First comes information. I was saying earlier, first comes information. Just like somebody, this is IT hub, a lot of them want to go to the United States, join directly in Google, Microsoft, etc., all those techie companies, right? The Fortune 500 companies. So first they get information that they will go to the library or they will go on Google and check. So many data, so much information. Based on that information, they are even more inclined to go to US. As an example, this is a very simple example I'm giving. Now, sitting here, they have only information in India. But once they land in Silicon Valley, as an example, and then a few days they stay, a few months they say they have understanding about what is going on, how the American lifestyle is, what punctuality is, etc. Some good things and some bad things. They get proper understanding. Bad things are many also in the Western culture, right? Which even they have not even improved even after joining Iskcon movement. Some have even, unfortunately, I even tell Prabhupada disciples this with a great humility. When they address Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur, Prabhupada, they say, Bhakti Siddhanta said this, Bhakti Vinod said this. And this disease is seeping in our Indian body devotees also. That's a big challenge because they have been used to calling their 5-year-old nephew John and their uncle also they call by the name John. But in our Vedic culture, if I want to call my uncle by his first name, first thing my father would do is get very upset and maybe even slap me. How dare you do that? Right? We have this culture that we honor our elders. This is basic. This is not even spirituality in one sense. So we did not play cricket or golf or gilli danda with Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Come se come, minimum you have to add the word Srila. Otherwise, how will I tell them? Every Prabhupada disciple who speaks that, I catch them later on and I very humbly say, Prabhuji or Maharaj, if you don't mind, I have something to share with you. Yes, recently I was in GE when Maharaj came from New York. So I said, Maharaj, I need a couple seconds of your time. Can I? Oh, no photos with me. And Baba, who asked you for photos? Because in a conversation he used the word Bhakti Vinod and Bhakti Siddhanta. So I wanted to catch him on the side. When I said, Maharaj, can I have 2 seconds of your time? Immediately he said, no photos. Baba, who is asking for photos? I want to share something. I said, no, Maharaj, no photos. I just want to share something. I just overheard that you said Bhakti Vinod and Bhakti Siddhant. Our Prabhupada will not be very pleased when we hear that. Minimum we should use Srila. Best is to use Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. When Prabhupada addressed this Guru Maharaj, he used to say, our Guru Maharaj, his divine ways, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada said that. We want the highest goal or the prayojan of Krishna Prem. We want to enter Golok Vrindavan, but we do not want to respect these personalities who are none other than, one of my challenges was, I asked my question, who are our acharyas? In Radha Krishna's Nitya Leela, who are our acharyas? I said, please, my request, raise your hand, and I will be, because 4 or 5 people speak, I cannot hear. The challenge is me, not you. In my hearing. Yes, somebody said something in Mataji, loudly. Very nice. I would really like everybody to loudly chant Hari Bol for this Mataji. Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Thank you. You are saying something, Mataji? Same answer. Hari Bol for her also, please. Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Bol. 99% of the devotees in our movement have a challenge. They don't even know who our acharyas are in the eternal spiritual world. Information. I'm not talking about, so as I was saying, examples of information, understanding. Understanding is when that person goes to United States, lands, stays for a few months, and then when he's calling his family, here it's like this, here it's like that, here in America it is like this. So many things he will share on the phone, right? So from information level, that person has gone to understanding what United States is, what United States culture is. Giving a simple example. And then realization will come after that person has actually stayed there for at least 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. What this country is all about, what corporate world is, how we have to deal with the Americans. We cannot do what we do in India down there. Then sometimes they don't like that. So, as an example, I don't want to go into the details, but once we have got the full realization what United States is all about, then we can say, I'm realized about United States. Similarly, we use the same example. We have a lot, some of us, we are on an informational level, whether it is Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam. Understanding takes some time and dedication. Some of us don't even have the proper information which our program started today. It's a challenge that what is our highest goal in Gaudiya Vaishnavism? Right? Some people said that being happy. Some Mataji said that, what is it answer you gave, Mataji? You said something. Being happy. So we got all these general answers. But being Gaudiya Vaishnavas in the line of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we don't even have the proper information. This is such a sad state. It should be an eye-opener for everyone, just like that student studying medical college after finishing doctorate, his doctorate degree. He knows he's studying cardiology. Right away, he is not a cardiologist yet. Please make a note of what I'm saying. But at least he knows. Similarly, we may not be there as pure Rupanugas or fully realized souls, but at least on an informational level. If that person has information about America, then only he will think of going to America. Then and then only he'll land there and he'll get some understanding of America. Then and then only after spending some time, we'll get realization about what US is all about. Does this make sense, what I'm saying? This example should be applied in our devotional life. That whether we are on an informational level, whether we are on an understanding level, or we are on a realization platform. So on the realization platform, there is very few. Extremely, very, very rare. But we need to get there. What does Krishna say in the Bhagavad Gita? Bahunam janmanam ante jnanvan mam prapadyate vasudev sarvamiti savatma sudurla. Vasudev Krishna personally certifies those persons who acknowledge that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Vasudev sarvamiti. He is the samam guna of everything. After many, many, many lifetimes, one can get that opportunity, or one gets that realization that Vasudev Sarvamiti. And I personally certify them, Krishna says. Everybody loves certificates. Yeah. Bhakti Shastri certificate, Bhakti Vaibhav certificate, Bhakti Vedanta certificate. How many of you have done Bhakti Shastri here? Please raise your hands. 1%, 2%. Nice. Okay. But it's a challenge. If once we do, somebody asked me, many times they asked me, Prabhuji, should I do these courses? I said, yes, you should do them, surely. But do them so that we can become more humbler with that consciousness. Not that now I am a jnani and everybody knows I am a scholar and I can become sloka loka and I can rattle so many slokas. And then instead of becoming das anudas, the consciousness is boss anudas. Get served by everybody and not do any service. So that is a failure. Then we are on the Jnani platform, not on the Bhakta. Because what does Krishna say? In the Bhagavad Gita, ye yatham mam prapadyante tam sa tathaiva bhajamyam. As one, worships me, I reciprocate accordingly. So what is Bhagavad Gita? What is the Shastra? Sakshat Sri Krishna. So if we approach the Shastra from the angle of karma, from the angle of jnana, then Shastra will give us that result. Because Krishna's words and Krishna are non-different. Krishna's name and Krishna are non-different. So Krishna will award that. But bhakti, very rarely he would award Shuddha Bhakti. So when we do these courses, just as a side note, since I brought this up, some of you will do it. Some of you will become very nice preachers based on that, but with the service attitude. The next thing that we have to always think that if I do these courses, has it brought me closer to Krishna? Have I become more humbler? With that consciousness, if we do those courses, then those courses are successful from the perspective of bhakti. Otherwise, it is jnana. Shastra will not reveal. Supposing a realized soul is reading Bhagavatam, Nigama kalpataro galitam phalam shukhamaka dravamrutam samhitam pibata Bhagavatam rasa alayam mura rasika bhuvi bhavga. So the Rasika Vaishnavas also study, they serve Srimad Bhagavatam. But their realization from the verse that they are reading and the same verse, if we read, we do not get that same realization. So because they are fully absorbed in bhakti, our challenge is getting absorbed in bhakti. Because we have to chant nicely. So what I was saying is, Shravana we discussed. If we hear Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, kirtan, then we are able to properly glorify the holy names. Because when we are chanting nicely, then the Smaran Dasha comes. And in the Smaran Dasha, how to not get distracted, the big challenge that we had originally also a part of our one of the bigger tributaries of this discussion from the main river is that we cannot, our mind is distracted. So the best thing that I have also personally found, not only heard it from Varishta Vaishnavas and our acharyas, is to audibly chant at the same time. Most of you, how many of you are in the IT? Most of multitasking is a big thing, right? Right or wrong? Multitasking is so important. So many spreadsheets are open. So many different pages are open. Suddenly message pops. You send the message right away. Suddenly this is multitasking. So this is transcendental multitasking. At least two things. Shravana, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. And Smaranam means you take something that you really like in Krishna consciousness. Maybe a nice verse, maybe a nice bhajan, maybe a nice lila. pastime, and you think about that, then the minds won't get distracted as easily. They still get distracted, but as you get that practice, you will not even realize when you have finished 64 holy names. Trust me, uh, we have practical experience, not to gloat about my personal uh, realizations. They are partial in one sense, but how powerful the holy name is. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written an amazing bhajan in Sharanagati, the last bhajan, and it glorifies the holy names based on Chaitanya Sistastaka. Krishna Nama Dhare Kotoba Vishaya Vashananale Dhyani Shiya Jale Ravita Tamaru Sama. When you get time, Google it. So beautiful. In that bhajan, he says that I am so materially engrossed that I have no realization that how much strength this Krishna Nam has, the holy names has. My life is suffering. Visha was like poison, burning, like samsara davana. Visha vasana jale, diya nishi hiya jale. Day and night, my heart is burning. Just like the scorching heat in the desert. Similarly, that's what my life is. He's taking such a humble position. He's talking about us. Some of us don't even realize that we are suffering. Ignorance is bliss, as they say. Like you must have seen some mad person, crazy. He's always laughing. So his laughing or bliss or happiness is not compared to the happiness of a devotee, right? So that is a different kind of, because he's ignorant, he's laughing. He's crazy, he's mad, he's laughing. So most of us, because the mad person doesn't know that he's mad. So most of us, we don't even realize that we are suffering. We think, oh, now we have joined Iskcon, everything is perfect. I'm devotee, and when we preach, we also become very, very much of that inclination of becoming fanatics. There's a saying that I had heard in Hindi. How many of you all understand Hindi? Please raise your hands. Okay, most of you. Okay. So there is a saying, Naya naya mulla jada hi karta hai. Allah, Allah. Naya naya mulla jada hi karta hai. Allah, Allah. So one who has just become a mullah, he's saying, more and more he's saying, fanatically, Allah, 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 Allah. So we should not be fanatics. According to even if we want to preach, we have to be very careful how we approach. Otherwise, what will happen? A lot of times, we put the persons that we are approaching, they become ours. Then they will never even think of Krishna consciousness. If somebody from Iskcon, they say with the tilak and the beat back, run away from them. Because the first person who approached them was a fanatic. Unfortunately, he was an idiot. Let's put it that way. I'm being very strong here. I remember one Mataji, and this is marathon time. I see so many books, all glories to His Divine Grace. Srila books distribution key. Yeah. So, book distribution, there's a challenge. Talking about challenges in Krishna consciousness. What is the biggest challenge? How many of you are distributing books here? Please raise your hands. Very nice. So, what is the biggest challenge that you are facing, Prabhuji?
They said they don't have.
They don't have time. Yes, Mataji, please raise your hand. Somebody, 2, 3. We have a book. That's the challenge. Okay, in the back, somebody also raised their hands. Loudly. We have all the books. Okay, very nice. And Prabhuji in the back on the chair. What is loudly, please? I'm sorry, can you, somebody in the front, if you have heard? Unable to convince the persons that we are approaching. 1 second. Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhuji.
We still have time to read this. Now we don't require.
Sorry, say that again.
We still have time to read. I don't have time to read it. We still have time to read. But they say that I'll read it in 50, something like that.
Oh, so right now there is no time to read these books, maybe later.
Later.
That's what you're trying to say. Yes, Prabhuji.
Mobile. Mobile.
Very nice. So we have soft copies. That's another challenge. Anybody else? Not interested. Okay. Anybody else from here, this section, Mataji's? Book distribution. Yes, Mataji? Okay. So all these challenges are there, right? And they're all so valid, right? So, but now we will discuss how to overcome that. Okay? Because the first thing when you join corporate world, they ask you, they will give you a challenge, but they also ask you in the interview that how good of a problem solver you are, right? That's one of the major questions, and that determines whether you will get the job or not. Am I right or wrong?
Yes.
Huh? How good of a problem solver you are. So this is we are talking about marathon month, book distribution. How do we solve all these problems that you have mentioned here? Shall I share something
Yes.
with your permission?
Yes.
Okay. And again, this is just something based on some realizations, not only from some Varishta Vaishnavas, but also from the best Varishta Vaishnava for us is Divine Krishna Prabhupada. So, challenge number one that we have, and through this one pastime of Srila Prabhupada, I will kind of uh, explain the problem, what is happening. Uh, by the way, how many of you have heard from people that what is inside this book? Yes, mother, you? When you approach them with Bhagavad Gita or any, how many of you all have been asked this question? Nobody?
Yes. Very good, definitely.
I understand, but you were asked this question, right? Whether you are distributing science of self-realization, Bhagavad Gita, big or small book, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, whatever you are approaching, whatever your books that you have in your hands or under your custody. So, for that, I would like to kind of mention one Srila Prabhupada's pastime. Srila Prabhupada was in Los Angeles, and Prabhupada was in his car, and one of his disciples was driving. Prabhupada was seated in the back. And Prabhupada saw one Mataji, who was his disciple, at the signal light, she was distributing Bhagavad Gita. And Prabhupada's eyes widened. He was very, very pleased and happy. He said, please, please, try to pull forward before the signal opens up. And I want to see this devotee. So, as the car wiggled and reached to the point, and this Mataji came to the next car, which was Srila Prabhupada. But before that Mataji could approach, Prabhupada closed the windows, and those windows were tinted. From inside you can see outside, but from outside you cannot see inside. And Prabhupada just cracked the window a little bit, so much space. So then this Mataji came and put her hand inside and put the Bhagavad Gita inside. And please take this book. It's a nice book on yoga. And that's all she said. And Prabhupada changed his voice and said, can you tell me what is inside this book? So that Mataji started speaking something, and then Srila Prabhupada, his eyes wide open, upset, rolled down the window. I did not write this in this book. Where did you get this information from? Are you reading my books properly? The first challenge for all book distributors and for all devotees, book distributors or no book distributors, we are not reading sufficiently His Divine Grace's books. It's okay. Now we have seen many second generation devotees are writing books. And of course, the Prabhupada disciples are also writing books. And then the disciples of those, or if they are the second generation devotees, are their mentors or their leaders, they tend to read their books more than Srila Prabhupada's books. That's a big no. Big N and big no. Okay. If you want to read this, read those, but take the time also to read Srila Prabhupada's books. It's very important. Yes, your Guru Maharaj or my Guru Maharaj may have written books. Nobody's saying don't read those. But don't just stop there, saying that I don't have any more time for Prabhupada's books. That's a big no. Because your Guru Maharaj, my Guru Maharaj, that Guru Maharaj, all those Guru Maharajas, and all these devotees, the credit goes to His divine grace. When we were born in our mother's womb, we did not know anything. Janmana jayate Shudra, sanskara bhavati dvija. When we are born, we are Shudra. Shudra means ignorant. That is the actual meaning of the word Shudra. Not that untouchable like Gandhiji and all they unfortunately propagated. But generally untouchables are ignorant because they're not interested in bhajan, bhakti or anything. So therefore, most of the people in that category are Shudras. But we are all Shudras. Janmana jati Shudra. When we are born, we are all ignorant. Is it not true? That even our parents, our grandparents have to teach us ABCD, ka, kha, ga. What is that in Kannada? Ka, kha, ga. Same thing? Oh, nice. Then I just said Kannada. So everything has to be taught. The little child by Shravanam is hearing, say Papa, say Mama, say Dada, say Dadi, and then slowly through Shravanam process. So we are all Shudras when we are born. But sanskarat bhavati dvija. When we get sanskaras, when we are trained properly, we become dvija. Dvi means second, or ja means janma, twice born. So when we accept a spiritual master, and when we accept the holy name, when we accept the paita, the janoi, then we become twice born. Second life has been given to us, spiritual life. Sanskar bhavati dvija. That's the important thing. So through sanskaras, we become dvija. So, what was my point earlier before I said this? I was talking about Prabhupada's pastime, about that. So, reading Prabhupada's books is extremely important. Prabhupada has said that many times. If anybody needs references, I can go into the folio and so many letters, so many purports. Srila Prabhupada has mentioned, you have to read my books. The problem is, the challenge is you are not reading my books. So that's the problem. The challenge, that is why when somebody asks us, please tell me what's inside this book. And if we give them some mumbo jumbo, hodgepodge answer, this is a book on yoga. This is nonsense. Why can't we say, in the West especially, there's going to be a major problem in our Iskcon movement very soon. And I openly say this on the Vyasasana. Srila Prabhupada's disciples are slowly either getting very sick or they're disappearing. Now what is going to happen to our movement? It is going to be under the second generation disciples of Prabhupada. Second generation disciples of Srila Prabhupada, like us, second generation. And then now even the third generation is sprouted. So the second generation, because they are initiated from different spiritual masters, they will have a clash of understanding and minds. That cooperation, even now we are not seeing. Please forgive me. This is an eye-opener since the topics and the challenges are coming. You look through a very narrow tube. Supposing if I close my fist like this and I make a circle, I can only see this Prabhuji in the black sweater. I cannot see anybody else in this room. This is what we do when we just think that we are the only associate with our God brothers, God sisters, because we are initiated by only a certain spiritual master. Very, very Kanishta thinking. And some of them propagate that. We have heard it with our own ears. Don't associate with that. Only associate with our Guru Bhais and Gurus, God brothers and God sisters. To those Kanishta thinkers, I have one question. Do you have any information? It's a challenge. What our Bhagavad Parampara or Gaudiya Parampara is all about? Please, we are talking about some important challenges. What do we see on the altar? Is Divine Krishna Prabhupada? whose Diksha Guru and Shiksha Guru happened to be His Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur took Diksha or initiation from His Divine Grace, Srila Gaur Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj. Now, Srila Gaur Krishnadas Maharaj did not take Diksha from Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur. He took Shiksha. Shiksha is very prominent. In our personal experience, we find, I was just in Khargar, and His Holiness Jai Pataka Swami Maharaj was there. He was there for 2 weeks. I was there for 3 days. And I saw so many devotees. They were lining up in the lobby of the guest house, coming from different parts, just to get a glimpse of Maharaj. There was one devotee who actually brought me here to Bangalore. His Grace, Shamhari Sudarshan Prabhu. He also came from GEV with 6 devotees. And I am giving a very practical example through which we can all learn something. He came at about 8:30 in the morning and he did not get any darshan of Maharaj. The secretary was informed, kept calling. He says, Maharaj is in a meeting. Maharaj is busy with this. Maharaj is now going to take a nap. Maharaj is going to do this, that. Extremely busy Maharaj's schedule was. And he did not get darshan of Maharaj until he came down and going to give class at 7:30. So in a general audience, he got darshan of Maharaj. So my question is to all of us, what is the challenge here? What we see is our whoever initiated us, Guru Maharajas, especially if they are very popular and they are very busy. If we get even 1 minute's association in person of that personality, it's a big thing. Right or wrong? How many of you have experienced that? Please raise your hands. Those who are initiated, I would like you to raise your hands. Who have experienced this. Yes. So then the next question, challenge in Krishna consciousness arises. Where are you all getting your Krishna conscious education or knowledge from? Anybody would like to answer that, please? Where are you getting that? Yes, Prabhu?
Shiksha.
Very nice. 6 hours. And when we limit ourselves, like if I limit myself just by looking at, just I can see only one Mataji, only one Prabhuji, right? But if I open my eyes, I see so many Mataji, so many Prabhuji, so many Vaishnavas. So, in our Bhagavad Parampara yesterday at Juhu Iskcon, we were speaking on that same subject matter about Naranji instructing King Nimi on Bhagavad Dharma. Our parampara is Bhagavad Dharma because Naranji is the second guru in our Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. And he knows Bhagavad Dharma best. And Bhagavad Dharma is what we, Rupa Goswami, Mahaprabhu wants. Our acharyas are preaching. But unfortunately, we do not catch the essence. It's very important to catch. We don't have to learn all the 700 slokas of Bhagavad Gita by heart or 18,000 slokas of Srimad Bhagavatam by heart. No. Or all the Shastras by heart. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said that we have to become, there's a bhajan on them, become Saragrahi Vaishnava. Sar means sense. Become a Vaishnava with the Saragrahi. So Saragrahi Vaishnava means it involves a lot of common sense. A lot of common sense. So when our Guru Maharaj is respected, like for example, my Guru Maharaj has already wound up, he left his body. Where do you think I'm getting my spiritual nourishment from? From so many other Varishta Vaishnavas. Some of them are Prabhupada disciples. Some of them are even second generation. So Siksha is more prominent than Diksha in our Bhagavad Parampara. Very important. I'm not saying Diksha is not important, it's important. But Siksha has more prominence because that will open up us to more transcendental information. I would like to generally give this example. In India, this deep-rooted weakness or rascaldom has come. When a boy wants to get married or a girl wants to get married to a boy, arranged marriage kind of a situation. Nowadays, I was shocked. About 3, 4 years ago, or maybe 5 years ago, one person, young boy, came to us, Uncle, Auntie, I'm going to India. My father and mother has found some girls for me to select. I said, okay, beta, good luck to you. And always be Krishna conscious. Even if you're getting married to a non-Krishna conscious person, at least the person is sattvic or willing to be sattvic, accept. Don't be so fanatic that only I need somebody in Iskcon. A lot of marriages in Iskcon have failed. Challenge. A lot of them. My Guru Maharaj used to actually arrange boys and girls, and then he completely stopped. Because so many marriages that he had arranged, they failed. So he took kind of a vow, no more, I'm not going to do that. Because what happens, then they come to Guru Maharaj and they come with the problems. And then, will Guru Maharaj preach or is he going to become like a marriage counselor? It's okay, if little time is given. But if that is becoming more prominent, then he said, no, that's a sannyasi, that's not my business. He started with 1 or 2 devotees, and then a lot of them approached him, can you find a nice boy for my daughter? Or can you find a nice girl? You're going all over the world, Maharaj. So in Iskcon, you can find somebody. So like that, it continued for some time. And then later on, I had the opportunity to serve Maharaj for 2 years continuously as his co-secretary with another Prabhuji. So I saw these challenges personally, and Maharaj flatly refused. Because when devotees came for darshan, they would discuss these things. So then he would simply say, pray to Krishna, he will send somebody nice. He would give that kind of an answer. Hmm. So why the challenges are there is because Kali Yuga is just only now how many years? Only approximately 5,000 years have elapsed, and see the symptoms so bad. This boy who came, he told me we are going, and then after 2 months he came back, and he brought a box of prasad, and he said, Prabhuji, I got engaged. I said, very congratulations. When is the big day? After 1 year. I have to still finish some of my studies, and then once I get a good job, we have decided that we'll get married. But Prabhu, he said, you'll be amazed at the kind of questions the different girls asked me when I went to see. One girl asked me, how much baggage you have in your house? I said, what do you mean by that? Prabhu, even I was shocked. Baggage means you have grandfather, grandmother, brothers, sisters, father, mother, that is baggage. Just see the nomenclature or the vocabulary they use. And I'm using this example coming back to the main point. So please be absorbed. Another girl's family asked this question, how much garbage do you have in your house? And that garbage is the same thing. Grandfather, grandmother, brothers, sisters, father, mother, etc. This is how degraded we are. This is in Bharatvarsh. Such questions are coming up. So what happens? Finally, the girl only agrees most of the time if that boy agrees to get his own flat or his own house. Everything else is okay, but you are staying with your family with garbage and baggage. I don't want to come in that house. So sometimes it is seen that then they decide we'll get our own place to stay. Now what happens once they get their own place to stay? After at least 9 months or 1 year, a new child is born in that couple. Now that child gets all the love from the father and mother, but is bereft of the love that was found in our traditional Indian system. We call it in Hindi Sahakutum. I don't know what it is called in Kannada. If somebody can translate that, I'll appreciate that. Joint family. Everybody understand that concept? In joint family, we have many uncles, many aunties. We have even the older cousins born to the elderly uncles, right? Cousin sisters, cousin brothers, uh, grandfather, grandmother. And when the child is born in that family, gets so much love from all, even from the cousins. Now give me the baby and I will take care of the baby. No, 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 give it to me. So much love is showered. But the persons who are separated, uh, they only get love, that child gets only love from the father and mother. And just like the Western culture, only when there is Diwali or some special festival, they go to their uncles or fathers or grandfather's house. Otherwise, like right now, Christmas is coming. What in America we see that the moment they grow 18, most of them leave their houses and they enter into their material world, into that rat race, and their parents start growing old, grandparents get old. And the moment they get old, they say, we will give the money, put them in the senior citizen home. Ah, let them be taken care of that. They don't want to take care of their elders. One day the phone call comes. But before even that dreaded phone call, it is Christmas time. Now Christmas is going on. Full swing. It is called the holiday season in the United States, in Canada. So what they do is they make plans. There are two major occasions, Thanksgiving and Christmas. So then the family comes to the table or to the house all together only 2 days in a year. Only 2 days, and sometimes only one day on Christmas Day. And sometimes even that does not happen. They are in the senior home, and then one day the dreaded phone call comes that your mother has passed away. So now, why I was giving this long example? The reason is if we become like that young couple and we only uh, uh, have become, we get that consciousness that only my Guru. Hmm. Then where else are we going to get love from? Transcendental love, the affection, the siksha. Hmm. Does this make sense? Prabhu's and Mataji's? Yes or no? I would like to hear at least a response.
Yes.
Huh? So this mentality is very Kanishta when we think we are all under the shelter of His divine grace through His divine graces, Varishta Vaishnavas. That's important. We are not Ritviks. Big thing here, especially. They are also devotees. We should never insult anybody. As a side note, but they have made this one mistake, philosophically speaking. Everything else they are doing okay. Uh, They are also doing Guru Puja, they are doing Mangal Arati, they are chanting the holy names, they are talking about Prabhupada, preaching Prabhupada's books. So we should acknowledge the good things. We should not become flies. Get a chair for Mataji, please. That is always looking for sores. That is always looking for sores, the wounds, and sitting. We should become like bumblebees. So one small mistake or one major mistake they have done, but all other 99 things they are doing correctly. I'm not propagating that about them, but what I see, unless and until the person is empowered, it's not possible to do the kind of level of Akshay Patra that they are doing and the kind of preaching that they are doing. So somehow or the other, a little bit of they have gone, sideways. So we should pray for them genuinely. That that may Srila Prabhupada give them the intelligence to come and where the real body of Iskcon is Prabhupada's body, which is Iskcon. So, but if we are Kanishka, we will start fighting with them. If we find them, we ignore them. And we even allow a drunkard in our temple or somebody who is all not following the four regulative principles. And we give them so much importance by preaching to them, then these are also devotees. What do we don't have challenges? Talking about challenges in ISKCON, do you think every person who is initiated is following the four regulative principles to the core? I'm not going to ask any one of you, but we know within our hearts, we have seen that sometimes in a devotee's marriage, there's son or daughter's marriage, they have a section, because the in-law side, they are not so ISKCON people, but they have to balance. So for the feast that they create, they have Vaishnavas separate section and they have onion garlic in a separate section. But I've seen with my own eyes that that person goes to that section, putting tilak, having mala, kanti mala, and deliberately knowing that there is onion garlic in it. That is happening so rapidly. Even in US, in India, there is no problem. When we buy ketchup, sauce, you call it sauce, we call it ketchup, tomato ketchup. They don't read the ingredients. I'm talking about devotees. And it clearly says onion powder, garlic powder. But it's okay. In one temple I went, one Mataji was working for a fruit store, vegetable store. So sometimes she used to bring mangoes, avocado, and then one day she brought 5 boxes of garlic on the temple premises, saying that it's free. She used to give it free. Sometimes she asked for a donation $5 to cover her petrol gas costs. And nobody really was interested in objecting to it. I had to object. I said, what is this? This is Srila Prabhupada's temple, but it is for health. On the group, this discussion is going on. Okay, if it is for health, but why 5 pound bags? And there are at least 20-25 bags are there. Sometimes we have to take cough syrup. It contains a little alcohol. There's a purpose that just we get better. And then we give it up. But to make garlic tincture, you don't need a 2.5 kilo bag. No, that is nonsense. So basically, what they did, they were distributed, it was taken by the so-called devotees in the West. They took it home. So that is very clear understanding we find that they are eating onion garlic. So what my point is that Paramatma knows best where we stand. We can cheat ourselves thinking that we are great devotees, but the Paramatma knows that how much and where we need to make good improvements, even to come on the platform of the 4 regulative principles. So these things are going on. Of course, not all temples are like that, but this is one particular temple where I had witnessed it. That's what I'm saying it. So I very, very strongly opposed it. And there were some Srila Prabhupada disciples present on it. And then, so finally the verdict was that yes, no. But it took days. Why did it take days? It should take 2 seconds. No more. You can bring other fruits and vegetables, but don't bring garlic on the premises of the temple. But it took at least 3 or 4 days before, after so much sarcasm on me, oh, Prabhuji, you're not looking at the good heart of this Mataji. She's distributing free. I said, yes, distributing free, but that should be within the purview of the 4 regulative principles. Tomorrow somebody will say, some guest will come and say, okay, I want to distribute free liquor and put a big box of liquor in the temple, it's free. Will you allow it? That was the answer that really shook everyone. She is distributing free. We thank her for her services, that she is caring, but maybe she doesn't have this full knowledge. She's not even an initiated devotee, and you are encouraging such things on our premises, being initiated devotees, being Prabhupada disciples. It's not right. Our Prabhupada is crying when he sees this. So my main point was again, where will Iskcon land up? In the 2nd generation, 3rd generation, if we do not follow Srila Prabhupada very nicely, changing his books, that's a challenge. Challenge in Krishna consciousness, that's our subject matter. Correct, Prabhuji? Raseshwar Prabhu? Changing Prabhupada's books. How dare we can even think of that yet? Even if there is some grammatical mistake, we have no right to change it. Tadvad Visargo, does anybody know that verse? Sri Prabhupada, before writing Srimad Bhagavatam in the introduction, he says that those compositions that have been created for mankind, it will stir a revolution in their hearts that will bring full auspiciousness. And even though, if they are not properly composed, the true Vaishnavas take the essence. Okay? So we have to be that Sargrahi Vaishnava. Sometimes we find some Vaishnava is singing Aarti, he may forget one line. No need to look at each other. Oh, Maharaj forgot this. Forgot. We are all human beings. To err is human. Right? Somebody makes a mistake. then we should not advertise it. In fact, we should feel more compassionate. That is the challenge we are facing. Kanishtas, what will they will do? They will want to criticize immediately. You see, this is what he did. You see what this is what she did. No. Can we get love of Godhead or the prema pumarto mahan as the first verse of Chaitanya Manjusha says, Aradhya Bhavan Brajishtanes. We are only concerned with the son of Nanda Maharaj. The Bhagavad Gita Krishna is different than from the Krishna in Vrindavan. Most people don't know that. I see some faces with their eyes opening widely. We don't study Shastra. We don't read Prabhupada's books nicely. Prabhupada has mentioned this. Nanda Atmacha in Srimad Bhagavatam during the appearance of Krishna, the word Nanda Atmacha, that means Mother Yashoda gave birth to two. In Harivansh, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has mentioned. Srila Prabhupada always mentioned, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Srila Sridhar Swami says, he mentions that as it is. That is the quality. He doesn't take credit for himself. Sometimes Srila Prabhupada would open his own books and read, and he would say, did I write this? And then he would shake it, no, Krishna. But we do something very nice, somebody praises us, nice kirtan, nice katha, nice cooking, immediately we want to hear that and we want to feel good. No. Challenge is, we keep that praise with us. Immediately we should transfer it to our Guru Maharaj and further it will be transferred to Srila Prabhupada. If we are not initiated, it's okay. Transfer it to Srila Prabhupada. Mataji, very nice cooking. First words that should come out is Jai Srila Prabhupada or Jai Guru Maharaj. And Srila Prabhupada also, when we offer that credit, he doesn't keep it with him. He immediately offers it to his Guru Maharaj. When Srila Prabhupada was in the West, sometimes he would cry. He would say that my Guru Maharaj has sent you young boys and girls to me. What can an old man like me do? See, he never took credit. He says, my Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada sent you young boys, girls to assist an old man. So that if the challenge is that we cannot cultivate that humility that we need to, especially even on an informational level. Forget the level of understanding and realization, the other two levels. On an informational level, we should be very conscious about such subject matters. So, Aradhya Bhagavan Rajeshtanes. We are only, Prabhupada said, we are only concerned with the son of. So, Mata Yashoda gave birth to twins. Yashodanandan, that is Srila Bhaktivinoda's mood. Thakur's mood is Vrajbha. We sing Jai Radha Madhav, that is from a book called Gitagani. This Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakurji composed. And that is the names of the different lordships in Vrindavan. Jai Radha Madhav. Radha Madhav. Madhav, what does Madhav mean? Anybody? Yes? Correct. Husband of goddess of fortune. So who is that? Narayana. And that is Lakshmi Devi. Right? Well, what has that word got to do in Braj? So all these things, that's a challenge. We have to understand that from the perspective that even the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, when we are chanting, what does Hara mean or Hare mean? That is also a challenge. We have not fully understood the meaning of the word Hara, and not many people explain that. Yes, what energy? He says, Nam Nam Akari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis. Very important word Mahaprabhu has used. Nija means my own internal potencies. Now, who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Lovely one person. What?
Krishna himself. None other than Krishna.
None other than Krishna. None other than Krishna. Thank you. But that is not sufficient. Who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Again, this is a challenge question.
Krishna in the mood of.
Very nice. That's the perfect answer. Krishna in the mood of Srimati Radharani. So, when Mahaprabhu or Nandanandan Krishna, the one in Vrindavan and Braj says, Nam Nam Akari Bahuda, Nija, not Vasudeva Krishna. Because the explanation is, in Harivansa Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Rup Goswami, Sanatana Goswami have also explained, given their commentaries, that when Vasudeva came to Gokul, when he crossed the river Jamuna, he brought Vasudeva Krishna. And when he went to Nanda Bhavan, he saw that there was, by the covering of Yogamaya, he could not see the boy Krishna that Mother Yashoda gave birth to. Yashodananda. He was there, right there on one side. On one side, he saw the girl, baby girl, Yogamaya. So he immediately exchanged Vasudev, Krishna, with the baby girl, and then took to Mathura. Rest is history. So Mother Yashoda gave birth to twins. What a big sacrifice Yogamaya has given. She didn't even get the love of her parents in Vrindavan. Why? Because she had to do this immense service to her brother Krishna. Now what happens? Vasudeva Krishna, Nandanandan Krishna. Vasudeva Krishna, as soon as Vasudeva leaves, when nobody is looking, Yogamaya arranges, he merges into Nandanandan Krishna. So it is said in the Shastra that Nandanandan Krishna, Yashodanandan, does not even take a step outside Vrindavan. Ekam padam na gachanti Vrindavan. When Akrura came to take Krishna Balaram in this cheating wrestling match arranged by Kansa, when they were only 11 and a half years, something like that, and when he sat on the chariot on the border of Mathura and Vrindavan, that old Mathura road is even there today when we do parikrama. After Jagannath temple, when we make the right turn, it's on the left. There is a small gate. And that gate is where Akrura took Krishna Balaram. But before entering that gate, the border, he got down from the chariot and offered his obeisances, dandavats, to Vrindavan Dham. Because he was a devotee, he could understand the value of Vrindavan Dham. And when he was doing that, Nandanandan Krishna and Vasudeva Krishna separated. Nandanandan Krishna stayed back in Vrindavan in every atom, whether in a tree, in a leaf, in a branch, in the hearts of the cows, and deeply in the hearts of the Vrajvasis. He remained there. Although he created that separation, he was present. And he was a part of that agony. Separation creates a lot of pain. So it is just not that the devotees or the Vrajvasis felt that pain. Even Krishna was present watching everything, but incognito, felt so much immense pain. When Vasudeva Krishna went and killed Kansa, later on they released their father and mother, Devaki and Vasudeva, and grandfather Ugrasen, King Ugrasen, and then he was re-established on the throne. And then, due to the attack of Jarasandha 18 times, defeated Jarasandha, who was the father-in-law of Kamsa. He was very angry because Krishna killed, Vasudeva Krishna killed Kansa. So he attacked Mathura. He wanted to kill Krishna Balaram, but he was not successful. But the anxiety that was created in the Mathura Vasis, in Mathura, that is the reason Krishna and Balaram summoned Vishwakarma and said, build a nice big city in the water where this stupid Jarasandha will not come. Even after being defeated 18 times, I don't think he will learn his lesson. And there is a lot of anxiety. Even if we are a very powerful nation, as an example, against a particular nation, where we defeat them every time they come and attack, still that anxiety is there in the citizens. That, suddenly something can happen, blackout, and we can hear the sirens and all this. So in 1971, we still remember when Pakistan, India, the war was going on, we were told how to practice. Shut the lights, we used to cover the windows with black paper. All these things we used to do. And when the sirens went, we used to go underneath the bed. Because there's a training that maybe the bomb from Pakistan will fall on us. But that anxiety was there. But Pakistan always got defeated. As an example, I'm giving. So Mathura Vasis were in anxiety. So Krishna and Balaram, they loved their devotees. Okay, fine, we'll make a nice big city in the water. And that city was Dwarka. So then Vasudeva Krishna, who was known as Mathuresh Krishna, then he became known as Dwarkadish when he shifted to Dwarka. And overnight, all the Mathura Vasis were shifted to prominently, all of them are shifted to Dwarka. And it is this Dwarkadis Krishna, or that Vasudeva Krishna, son of Vasudeva, who spoke Bhagavad Gita on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Most of us, that is, it's a challenge. Most of us don't know this because it is not discussed. I don't know why it is not discussed. It should be discussed. When Prabhupada said there are many types of Krishna, but we are only concerned with the son of Nanda Maharaj. Not that we are not concerned with Bhagavad Gita, we are concerned with Bhagavad Gita and Vasudeva Krishna so that we can build our Vaidhi Bhakti platform very strongly. Then we can enter into Srimad Bhagavatam nicely. Then we can enter into these books of the Goswamis like Chaitanya Charitamrita, etc. Otherwise, we will make offenses. We will not understand when Bhagavatam, when we are reading, Krishna stole the clothes of the gopis. Immediately some bad thought will come. Even to devotees, what to talk about outsiders? You know. So that is to eradicate all this, we have to perform our Vaidhi Bhakti very nicely. That is a challenge. And Vaidhi Bhakti starts nicely with Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. So as I was saying, when we are chanting, Smaranam must come of some Leela. Something we heard that morning, or something we heard from Srila Prabhupada's lecture, something we heard when we read Krishna book, or reading and hearing same thing, or in Srimad Bhagavatam, some bhajan we like. So when we do that, try it. It's a challenge. 2 rounds, 3 rounds chant, try it and see what happens. How much big of a difference it will make in our chanting. So what was the point before this? We were talking about? Yes. So book distribution also, how do we resolve, can we become problem solvers? First of all, when we approach somebody, we should not approach with a corporate mentality. Number one, corporate mentality means I want to sell. I want to sell. My leader has told me to sell 5 boxes of Bhagavad Gita in 1 month. As an example, many of them, they have this mentality, sheer pressure. We are not selling soap that our corporate target is, or we are not selling batteries, cells. We are not selling all these consumables, washing powders. As an example, that is selling. We are first of all distributing love. So every food distributor must think in their hearts that I am distributing love. Very important. With that consciousness, we approach somebody. Somebody mentioned no time. That person, if we approach that with that, I am your real friend. Inside in our hearts, we should say that I am your real friend. We should feel like that. You really need something very good which changed my life. We should be thinking about these things before we even leave for book distribution. Krishna, you are so kind. You gave me Prabhupada. Now I want to give Prabhupada to everyone through his books. How many of us think like that, of that consciousness? When we start doing that, then we approach somebody. Very important points that based on my experience, I'm sharing. So please try to observe them if you can. Very good. If not, Haribol. So then the next point is you approach somebody. Person is in a rush. But when you approach them very nicely, I'm your friend, you don't even have to say that. Paramatma is in our hearts, and Paramatma is in his heart or her heart, whom you are approaching. That connection is there. So when we approach with that consciousness, that person is not even going to stop for 20 seconds, maybe he will stop for 20 minutes. He will want to hear. He will inquire what is inside this book. And that's where the point comes of Srila Prabhupada, the challenge. How many of us had read Srila Prabhupada's books to answer those questions in the most shortest time so that that person is satisfied? You have to become Sargrahi Vaishnavas. And for some reason, we may not be able to answer those questions. Be honest. You know what? That's a great question. But I'm not sure about the perfect answer, but I have a lot of senior Vaishnavas who can do that. Can I please quickly have their phone number? When you ask like that, keep a small diary with you in your bag or in your pocket and be ready. If they are ready, don't push to give their phone number, or you can say, take it out. Here is my phone number. So that person has become such a good friend within the next few minutes. He will take that Bhagavad Gita mostly. Mostly he will take that Bhagavad Gita. And then you put a little chit inside, here is my phone number. While reading, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact. That is friendship, not selling. Then the person will feel, nah, sometimes somebody will feel that yes, I tried all this, what I mentioned, but in spite of that, no success. That is okay. How much have we really understood Bhagavad Gita? Then, Karma Yoga, those who are leading, and those who have heard, what is Karma Yoga Siddhanta? That whatever you do, you offer it to Krishna. And don't be attached to the results. So sincerely go out there and book distribution of those books without being attached to the result. Someday you will get 20 Bhagavad Gitas distributed, someday nothing. But why get attached? That means we have not really understood Bhagavad Gita properly. Yeah. Don't get attached to it. And if you are sincere, nobody is going to. Paramatma, supposing if you come back to your leader and says, you did not do much this week, what happened? Maybe the leader is a little upset. But, if you are calm and nice, I tried my best, Prabhuji. Or Mataji, I tried my best. Paramatma is in your heart. Paramatma is the witness, how sincerely you tried. And Paramatma is in the leader's heart who is questioning. Everything will become nice and calm. There will be nice equilibrium. So this practice of being humble, Bhagavan says that Surut Sarva Bhutanam Gyatma Mam Shantirichati. Vasudeva Krishna says that. Bhuktaram Sarva Yugetavasam Sarva Lokamaheshwara. In spite of me being the proprietor of everything in this creation, the wonderful point Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur points out, he is so humble. He is Surut Sarva Bhutanam. When somebody has got so much assets, so much big houses, big industries, mostly we find those persons are puffed up. When the servant comes with the tea, either of them, not even thank you, acha kiya aap aaye, thank you. That humility is not there. But Krishna is Sarva Surut Sarva Bhutana. Although he is the proprietor of everything, Surut Sarva Bhutana. He gives. We forget to understand this challenge. That if we are not reading Bhagavad Gita already. Mama Yansha Jiva Loka Jiva Bhutasana. We are unsure of Krishna, part and parcels. That means we should get that quality. It should manifest nicely of being a surut, well-wisher. So when we approach somebody with that consciousness, the success rate will be much higher. Although we are not hankering after the success or failure. That is Bhagavad Gita. So we are not reading. We may be big preachers. We may become shloka lokas. But internally, maybe on an informational level, very little understanding and realization is almost nil. So these are the challenges over Krishna consciousness. So I am not here to make everyone depressed, but a certain depression is good just to examine ourselves where we stand. And that depression is good. It's a challenge. Even the gopis felt depression in separation. Brajvasis felt depression in separation. But that separation gave them the highest reward, which is the highest prema pubartho mahan. The highest prema was only bestowed to the gopis of Vrindavan, to the Brajvasis, not the Vaikuntvasis. No. I can say that. Because that's what Mahaprabhu said. And Mahaprabhu in his conversation between Rai Ramananda and himself on the banks of the Godavari in Dakshin Bharat, in South India. This was in Telangana, right? What is that the location today? Like the state? State. There on the banks of river. So I will end this by saying that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked some wonderful questions to Rai Ramananda. This is the amazing quality of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Although he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Govindam Adi Purusham, Ishvara Parama Krishna, Satchitananda Vigraha, he had this nice habit of catching some nice Vaishnava and asking questions and get answers out of him. Why? Simply to glorify him. Why did Krishna choose Arjun? In the beginning, he didn't want to fight. He said, but you know what? I've already killed all these people. Do you want to be an instrumental? Because you are my Sakha, you are my friend, I'm choosing you. But if you don't want to, what does it imply? Somebody else will do it to comply with my will. Right? So Mahaprabhu had this wonderful Raghupati Upadhyay, Rai Ramanand. So Rai Ramanand was none other than Vishaka Sakhi in Krishna Leela. Mahaprabhu is Nandanandan Krishna, not Vasudeva Krishna. He came in the mood of Srimati Radharani to give us the highest bhakti of Raj. Not the bhakti of Dwarka or Mathura or Vaikuntha. See, we don't think about that. What does Mahaprabhu want? What is that Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate? That Mahavadanyaya means the highest of the highest of the highest. Most munificent. Nobody, not even Krishna of Vrindavan can give that unless he has obtained that mood of Srimati Radharani. That highest compassion. Once he got the mood of Srimati Radharani, he became Namo Mahavadanyaya. Prior to that, not Namo Mahavadanyaya. Great. Hey Krishna, Karuna Sindhu, Dina Bandhu, Jagatpate, all those stutis are there. And they are very true. But nobody as Audharya, he is the Audharya Avatar. As much compassion in his heart. Lord Nityananda and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, none other as that. So he came to give us this Vrajbhava. We miss this. That's the challenge. That we don't have that. The moment that great desire, first thing is we have to desire, then we deserve. When the strong desire comes, Krishna makes those arrangements. Varishta Vaishnavas. Because that verse also applies that he sends Varishta Vaishnavas or Vaishnavas according to our capacity. So that what we can understand, they will give us. But if the strong desire is there to understand, then accordingly Krishna will make that arrangement. And it is so important, how do we get this? The next question whereas challenge. How do we get the strong desire? By the association. And how do you get the strong association of such Vaishnavas who can give us information on Vraj Bhav of what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted? Is by begging, seriously crying from within our hearts. Nitilila Pravist, His Holiness, Gaur Swami Maharaj said that we have to open crying school. We don't cry enough. Our hearts are so hard. We are crying for so many material things. And business we have 50 crore loss, we are crying. Ore Baba Satyanas ho gaya. I'm completely finished. And they cry. Student fails. Ore Mama, I tried so much, but I failed. I don't know how that happened. It must be some mistake. That son is crying, mother is also crying. But for Krishna, that when will I chant the holy names? Right now I'm so hard-hearted. Krishna, I don't understand. I know nothing. When will that happen? Even Mahaprabhu is saying that. Yeah, very, in a very, very humble mood. He has already attained that. That is the beauty. That the more humble it means more advanced. The more puffed up means more kanishta. So we have to be very careful about what we pray. And how do we develop those desires? By studying the Vaishnava bhajans. Another challenge we have that most of the managements that I've gone to, they do not encourage Vaishnava bhajans. Only Mahamantra. Mahamantra will have that effect, good effect, but the desired effect will only be there when we understand the hearts of the Vaishnavas. We understand the heart of that consciousness of the Vaishnavas is given in a platter, golden platter, in the form of simple Vaishnava bhajans, which is the summum bonum of many shastras. So when we chant Hare Krishna, most of us, we have no idea what it means. The general meaning when Prabhupada had given, and rightfully so, according to time, place, and circumstances, that we are calling out to Krishna and Srimati Radharani. That's true. Then the question arises, as we mature, we have to ask these questions to Varishta Vaishnavas. Then why is it, if it is only Radha and Krishna, then why is it that the Mahamantra is not Radha Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Shyam, Shyam Shyam, Radhe Radhe? It's Radha Krishna. And Vrindavan, some Apasampradayas sing that, and they call it the Mahamantra. It's a good question, challenge question. Okay, so tomorrow, this evening, those who are coming, we will try to answer that question. That way, it will give us a better insight on the when we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. If it is Radha and Krishna, why not Radha Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Radha Radha, etc. Why Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. It will have the effect, no doubt. But if we have the understanding, then Krishna will open up more doors in our hearts for Raganuga Bhakti, for Vraj Bhakti. More and more it will open. It will be revealed to us. We are ready. Just like a child will ask so many questions that you cannot explain them on the PhD level. Right? You will explain according to their level. So that level also, or that explanation, is based on our desire. If we want all life till we die, Bhagavad Gita, then we will remain on that platform. Never we will enter Braj. Krishna Prabhupada said, he's very, very, very amazing, our Acharyas. As it is, and every word is Guru Mukha Padma Vakya. Chitte te kori agya. He said, if you chant minimum 16 good rounds, follow the 4 elementary principles, you will go home back to Godhead in this very lifetime. He said that. He said what? Back to Godhead. Back to Godhead is a very big region. 75% of creation is back to Godhead, including Vaikuntha planets. So at the time of death, we are thinking about Krishna, Vasudeva Krishna, slokas of Bhagavad Gita, great. We have chanted nicely, then we will end up there. If we are Ram Bhaktas, we will end up in the Vaikuntha Vidya. If we qualify even there, that is also a big thing. Nothing ordinary. But Prabhupada didn't say you will go back to Golu. This is something that we are making a fad. Just like in the stock market, they make a fad. Oh, buy this stock, buy this stock, buy this stock. And at the same time, the big guys are selling that. So that they want to raise the price. They make a fad. New iPhone is coming. iPhone 7, little line up outside the Apple store. It's a fad. After 2 weeks, everything comes down. That interest or everything. Do you all agree with this? This concept that I'm giving is example. So similarly, we should have that deep desire that right now I would like to know more what Mahaprabhu wants to give us. Mahaprabhu came externally to give Mahamantra, undoubtedly. But there are internal reasons. How many of us have this desire to ask? And the moment we ask regularly and seriously, Ahituki na pratiyata, Paramatma situated in our heart will make those arrangements. He will send a Varishta Vaishnava who can answer your query, who can flame that fire that we have in our hearts to get more and more and more into Vrajbhav. That is the ultimate goal, my dear devotees. So there are so many challenges that we have. So I think we discussed quite a bit today on challenges. 2 hours, 8 minutes and 22 seconds. So I will. I think it is about time. I'm sure some of you may have to go to work, take prasadam. But if there are any questions or queries, 2 questions. Oh, Prabhuji is so kind, Rasishwar Prabhu. Very good. So where is that microphone? Prabhuji, Haribol, you have the microphone. Anybody has any questions? It's a challenge to pay attention. Everybody loves that WhatsApp. The moment we open our eyes in the morning, WhatsApp. I call it a tick-tock, 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 tick-tock. 20 times, 40 times every day, tick-tock, tick-tock, constantly. During Bhagavatam class, WhatsApp. Before sleeping, we don't think of Krishna, but we think, who is the last message we got? So these things are going on. That's a challenge. Keep the phone away. When we come to the temple, keep it on silent or vibrate. In case if there's an emergency, you answer it. And immediately you'll know if somebody is calling you for that, then you can go outside and do that. Okay, so questions? Yes, please. Yes, anybody? Yes, Mataji, give her the microphone quickly.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for this wonderful class.
Welcome, Hare Krishna. All glory to Krishna Prabhupada.
So I had this question that you were, you asked us questions, and we came to that. Yeah, the goal is that we want to become the servants of Gopi.
Gopi Bhartu, Kamalayo, Dasam Dasam Das. So there is two meanings of that, but I can explain that a little bit later. Gopi Bhartu is Krishna. So becoming a servant of the servant of Krishna. But that also includes when we actually get full realization, then we are servants of the servants of the servants of the gopis. It has a double meaning. Yes.
So we have to develop that more. But like whoever start, like even if they are worshipping Laddu Gopal or anyone, we just take it, whatever relationship is there with Krishna or the five rasas, you will get to know. So I just wanted to understand everyone, if they progress, they will get that or out of the.
Very nice question, Mataji. See, such questions are beneficial to all. Just like Sutta Goswami mentions in the Bhagavatam that your question is wonderful that you're asking. It will benefit. Bhurina Bharini. I think I forgot the whole verse. Getting old. But the thing is that your questions are wonderful. Out of 60,000 rishis, one representative is there who is asking these wonderful. Sometimes we ask questions that are not beneficial. Sometimes they're challenging questions in the mode of that. So, tat vidhi pranitatina pariprashnena sevaya. So, your mood is wonderful, Mataji. The question is wonderful, and I really appreciate this question. So, again, if I rephrase, just to make it quick and simple, for those who are worshipping Laddu Gopal, for those who are worshipping other forms of Krishna, or even I would even go to the extent that not everybody completely worships Krishna. They also have some Devi Devtas, demigods on their altar. So, nothing wrong with that. Worshipping Devi Devtas, only fanatics will say no. I have heard from Srila Prabhupada disciples, Varishta Vaishnavas like His Holiness Radha Govind Maharaj Ji, that they want to put my picture on the altar. But Shivji, with such Vaishnava, in fact, some